Okay. So good morning, guys. So today we are going to discuss on import widgets, data loaders. So what is a import widget and what is a data loader? Let's say you will be creating the records or updating the records through the user interface. That means using the layouts. Let's say going to the sales application. Explain also. So here you are having your own objects, tabs, and everything. Let's say I need to create training records like training 1, training 2, training 3, like this. Training 1, training 2. So like this, I need training 100. Means I need to create 100 records on the training object. Okay, in that case, how you are going to create? Let's say usually how we are going to create the reports is click on new button, and once you click on the new button, the layout will be opened for entering the data. A form will be opened, and there you will be entering name, then start date, end date, and then status. So whatever you want, you will be giving the details, and then you'll click on save. Right? One record will be created. Again, you need to click on new button and enter the second record details. This is the manual task, and it takes a lot of time. Okay. So to avoid the manual task, and if you want to update bulk amount of data like 50,000 records, or let's say 5 lakh records, or some 10,000 records, if you want to update or create, then you can use some kind of tools that's called import widgets and data loaders. Let's see the import widget first. Be careful. What is a import widget? Import widget is used to create or update the records. Okay, create or update the records up to 50,000 records. Be careful. Okay. Once you click on import widgets, the page will be open like this. Okay. Here you can launch the widget first. Launch the widget. Once you launch the widget, okay, you can select the objects. Be careful that using the import widgets, you have lot of standard objects like opportunities, then leads, tasks, accounts, contacts, campaigns, some other standard objects are also there, cases are there, a lot of things are there. Using the import widgets, you can create the records for standard objects, only limited standard objects like accounts and contacts, leads, solutions, and campaign members. Only five. Only five using the import widget. One is accounts, contacts, leads, solutions, and campaign members. Okay. When someone asks about import widget, you have to say import widget is used to create or update the data, and up to 50,000 records, and only some limited standard objects are only allowed to do this data update or data creation. Those are accounts and contacts, leads, solutions, and campaign members. And you can create or update any custom object data. So whatever the custom objects are there, all custom objects will be available to create or update the data. Okay. Only standard objects are having the limit: leads, solutions, accounts and contacts, and campaign members. Okay. Now how to prepare the data. You are saying that bulk data, import your data to Salesforce. This is this. You can import up to 50,000 records at a time. Only 50,000 records. For that, what you can do is you can prepare one Excel sheet. This one, training name. Let's say training name is auto number, right? Let's see this. Training name is auto number. Leave it. Then course name is required. Course name. Then how to prepare the Excel sheet. So to prepare the Excel sheet, open the Excel format and give the field names as columns. When we were discussing about the custom objects or objects, we have already told you that field names will be the column names, right? The table will be object, column will be field, right? The course name, this is the field you have to give and then give the start date. Start date. What are the fields you need to update? End date, even if you want to give end date. Then status. These are the fields we have in the training object, right? Now give the name like training one, training two. So I'm giving two records. For now, I'm giving 20 records. Okay, training one to training 20. Start date, I'm giving like 10, 12, 2020. Drag and drop. Have 20 records. Then end date can give like 01, 10, 2021 up to 29. Then status. What status you are going to give? Like we have different statuses like not started, started in progress. Let me give started in progress. You have to select those. Select this, save it. Okay. Training data has been saved. So we are going to create 20 records. Training 1 to training 20. Okay. Now let's go to the import wizard. Do you have any questions on preparing the data? Okay. Go to custom objects. Which one you are going to do this? Go to the training. Add new records. You are going to create the new records. Or if you want to update the records, you can do this. Or you can add new records and update the existing records in the same file. I'll let you know later. Match by name. Select the CSV file. Click on CSV file. Go to downloads because I have on the downloads training data. Okay, training date I have given, open. Okay. Once you click on next, will give the name. What is the course name? Started. This means this these are the fields are going to map with the column name in the CSV file. CSV header, okay, and then Salesforce field. This one is not mapped. Course name is not mapped. Select the field. Course name. Map. Okay. Once you map, means in CSV file, whatever the data we have in the course name, that will map to course name field on the training object. Start date column dot date field. End date column will be assigned to end date field on the training object. Status column status field on the training object. It looks like this one. Training 1, training 2, training 3. These will be the records. The dates will be like this. This is the sample data it is showing. Now just click next. Okay. So once you select this one, these are four fields are mapped in the object. This is creating new records, training, and then file is training date field. Okay, so this will be saying this, and when you click on start import, it starts creating the records in the database. See this, what is the status? The status is closed, means once you click on import button after uploading the file, then simply this will be completed, and then once the status is closed, okay, that means records are created. So you can observe here how many records are processed. 20 records are processed. Okay, like this you can see this. Now let's go and check how many records are there in the training object. See this? These are all the records we have. You want to see the all fields, select fields to display. Course name, start date, date, save it. Okay. Now if you see this, training 1, training 2, training 3, up to training 20 or created with the same fields in others. Okay, this is using the import widgets. Okay, now let's see how can we update the data. Okay, let's say what we can do is I need to update this one, so we do not have external field. Let's go to the code. This is the training data. Okay, here if you want to upload or let's say update the records, what you have to do is you have to give the field called ID. So here ID. What is the ID? Usually when you open the records, okay, say This is the training one record, right? Go here. Here, this is called as ID. We have already discussed this one. Keep this ID here, okay? And then again, next one is training two, right? Simple way is we have one tool called workbench. You have to know that this will be very useful, or let's say what you can do is through the developer console. Means if you go to the setup and then under the setup you have developer console. This developer console is used to execute the queries. Now here, if you want to see the training object, just click on file, open resource, or open lightning resources, whatever it is you can open. You just open the resource and whatever the object you are going to do, training object. Okay, this is training double underscore C. Now if you see this, we have only these many fields are displaying: course name, start date, end date, status, number of students, and then name. These are the fields displaying on the user interface. And what about others? See, if you see this, an owner also is displaying, and others are not displaying. ID is deleted, created ID, lost modified date, lost modified ID, system date, lost activity, lost view date, lost reference date. All are all these fields are standard fields. Okay, whenever an object is created, by that time all these fields will be added to that object. Those are standard objects. Okay, you want to see what are the fields available, then you can see here. Okay, in the developer console, file, open resource, or open also you can use. If you open, if you click on open option, then it will be specifies that what do you need to search: classes, triggers, pages, objects, page components, whatever. See, if you give objects, all objects will be displayed here. And you can, what you can do is just come here. This is user training. These are the same results. You can access in different. Now let's see. You have ID, course name, start date, end date, status. Okay. Now if you see, execute this, just click on execute. Means once you select all the fields on control, then just click on query. This query will be formed and simply you can execute this. These records will be displayed. You have these many things, right? Started, like the training 1 to training 20, we have this much records. So if you want to copy the record IDs, you can copy like this. This is second ID. This is third ID. This is fourth ID. Fifth. Okay. I'm just removing all this for editing, right? Take a lot of time. Okay. Now I'm just updating this training 1 to training 5. I'm giving different date, like let's say 09 10 2021. Okay, just changing this month, only start dates, and then let's change the all status to started only. Okay, now let's use the same with IDs. If you want to update, you should have a column called ID there. Else, if you have external ID fields, then use this. External ID fields. That is very much important. Okay. Now let's go and do the import wizard to update the records. Okay. Nice. Custom objects, training. Okay. We are going to update the existing records, right? Match by salesforce.com ID. Okay. Match by salesforce.com ID. Now create training date when click on next. Steps are same. You just need to select match by ID. That's it. Source map is this. Map it. Click on next. Start import. That's it. This will be done. Data update will be done. Okay. Sin have processed 5 records. Go and see. Refresh it. Or what you can do is in the developer console also refresh that. Data is changed. Start date September 10th. Okay. So this past 5 records have been changed. Okay. So this is how update the record using the import wizard. Okay. Then again, you have another option called import and sorry, import and so you have to update some records and insert some other records. Okay. Now let me show this. Uh, let me give 66, 67. I'm giving different name. Instead of this, I'm going to give in progress. Okay. And give here. Okay. So I'm going to give different date. Let me remove this state fields. Okay. Start date is required, right? Is start date required on layout or how it has been made? From Salesforce Lightning, if you want to go to the object phase, click on Setup, Edit Object. Then directly it will be redirected to Objects page. You can see fields and relationship. Start date. Where is it? Required on layout. Yes. So not on layout. It is right here. And let's say you made the field required at field level, then the field is required even if you are inserting the data from import widgets or data loaders from wherever you are. But if you made the field required at layout level, then when you are doing the data update through the data loader or import wizard or some other thing also, that field is not required. Okay, let me show that. See this status start date. Making required, save it. When edit the record. Start date is required, means start date is mandatory. Its start date is made mandatory at page layout level. Now let me create the records using import wizard. Some records I'm going to update. Okay, this one. Some records I'm going to create. How you are going to do this one? Let's go to the import wizard. Is launch import widgets, training records. Okay. Add new records and update existing records. Okay, use this match by salesforce.com ID. Select CSV. Training data. Click open. Next, click on next. Okay, have to map the course name. Click paste and start import widget. Tool records processed. Let's see. This trend. Training file should be still design. Might be some other setting on the import widget like check. Stop this. Okay. User. Not sure where it is exactly, but there is an option like you can avoid the values. Means if you are inserting null values, it will ignore it. Okay. Where is that option? Later, there is no issue, no need to wait. Okay. Let's say you are creating training data. This is the plain object. You have fields, and then how you can insert the data on student, right? See, when you want to create a student, then the lookup field or master detail field is mandatory, right? So you have a department, which is a lookup field, right? As well as you have a training, which is master detail. Means these values should be added, right? For that, what you need to do is the same way, like you have training data, right? This training data is there. This ID should be added. Let's say student name, then training. In training field, you have to give the this one, ID of the record. And if you are using department, then give the department ID. Know that, right? How to get the ID? ID, simply you can go to your training record, any of the training record or department record, whatever it is. Just click on that, and the browser and the address bar, you will get this information. This ID, you simply copy it and paste there. So prepare the data for student and try to import the data on it. Some 10 or 100 students just try to insert, update, and insert and update. Okay, these are called insert, update, and upset. Three options are there. Okay? This is about import widget. So import widgets are used to import the data up to 50,000 records, and you can upload the data into standard objects like accounts and contacts, solutions, campaign members, and leads. Okay, these are the 5 objects you have on that, and up to 50,000 records only you can import at a time. Okay, this is a limitation, and up to on all custom objects you can upload the data. Okay, so this is about import widget. Next one is data loader. Any questions on this import widgets?
No, sir.
Sir, when we import the master detail relationship, we can use ID, sir. It is required.
Right. Yes, that is required. Then it will throw the error if you don't give the value.
Something like anything like validation errors only configured on.
Validations also will be thrown. Say if when you are importing the data, if the records are not respecting the validations, then records will be failed to import. You should
Okay.
give valid data only.
Okay. Whenever something like
Okay?
if
Validations
you want to
also
import, we need to stop the validations and import the data.
correct.
Yeah, Anji, and
Okay.
yeah, earlier you
Now,
said if the field is mandatory in the UI level also, we cannot, yeah, we can import that record without giving that field value, right? Label.
correct. See here,
Yeah, so, yeah,
series. Here we have this is the field. Start date is mandatory on page layout level.
yes,
Means whenever user is trying to create or update a record using this layout, then only this field is required. This means if user is having other page layout assigned, then if he is trying to create the record, this field is not required. You can leave it blank.
okay.
And if you are
But in,
trying to create record from Apex or let's say data loader or workbench, whatever it is, the field is not required.
okay, then if it is not the case for master detail relationship or lookup relationship, right? In that case, it is always mandatory.
No, it is not.
Mandatory.
See, master detail is mandatory. I have already told you, right?
Yeah,
Master detail is mandatory. Wherever you are creating the record, if you are
okay.
creating student record, training is mandatory because that's master detail. Without
Yeah,
no child in the master detail. But for lookup, you can leave it blank.
okay,
Creating the student,
okay.
there are
Yeah,
two relationship fields. One is training,
yeah,
another one department. Department
yes,
is not required.
okay,
Okay,
okay. But why I am
fine.
asking this master
Kriti, you can
relationship is
stop, rejoin.